I'm going to show you how to map out the people that you need now and the people that you're going to need later throughout the growth of your company. And I'm going to talk about the systems and processes that you need to either implement now or along the way to make sure that the business can scale and you can work remotely wherever you want, so you're living your ideal life. Okay guys, now that we're back in the office, what I'd like to do is go over in further detail the two things that you need to implement into your business that will allow you to scale it, for one, and for you to be able to work remotely and do this from anywhere in the world that you want. So let's just talk about number one, people. Right? Obviously you need people. You do have the option, although, to do it yourself, but that is very difficult to do from Florida when your business is, say, in Barrie, Ontario. Hiring and empowering people is a major component to scaling any business, right? As well as building a lifestyle that you dream of. The other component to this is implementing systems, processes, checklists, forms, etc. These types of things for the people that you hire to utilize. And what this does is when you implement people and processes and combine them, you get a business that works harder for you than you do for it, and it really allows you to live the life of your dreams. So let me show you, our org chart, from our real estate investing company that we have in Ontario. And this org chart with this amount of people and structure this way has allowed us to create a construction company, a property management company, and of course, an online real estate investing educational company. This org chart has allowed us to transact in over $300 million in real estate and build a sustainable portfolio of about $100 million. We have had well over 300 units at different times of varying stages. We do all of the construction in-house, or most of it, as well as, like I mentioned, all the property management. We did that on purpose because that allows us to move as fast as we can, as we want to, and make sure that we control the costs and quality of the fit and finish to ensure that we can get the most predictable results for ourselves and for our investors once complete. Okay, so take a look at this. So here's the org chart, and one thing that I'll point out is this is myself, Grady, okay, and this is Christy. Okay, so when we first started, as you're starting out as a real estate investor, that's what it may be. It may be just yourself. Maybe you don't have a significant other. Maybe your significant other doesn't want to be part of it. But this is how we did it. And it was a really good way to be able to divide and conquer. So meaning that I did my certain tasks associated with like finding deals, negotiating property, building the renovation team, construction. I was renovating all the first deals myself, right? Where Christy focused on the property management, controlling the finances, applying for mortgages, accepting rents, paying bills, all of these types of tasks. So we were able to really divide and conquer. So obviously when you're growing a company, and if you could imagine wearing all those hats for a long duration of time, you'd likely just get burnt out. You wouldn't be able to scale your portfolio as fast as you could when you empower people. And obviously it's going to be very difficult to live your lifestyle, your ideal lifestyle, wherever you want in the world, and working remote. So let's just pop into here. So the first two people that we hired was the renovation manager. So this renovation manager here, turns out he's my brother. So when we just first started, I was the renovation manager and he was a renovator. And very shortly after, we had one other person. So it would have been this person and one other person. So two people, right? And you can very easily, with two people on a renovation team, get, I would say 6 to 10 properties done, depending on where you're at. And so that's where we started out. But as we got efficient and the deal flow got larger, obviously we started building out the team. What I like about creating an org chart at the very start of your real estate investing journey is that it creates a bit of a map or a vision as to who you're going to need in your company to achieve your goals. If you're just starting out, it may be just yourself and just your wife, and that's all we got right now, but that's okay. But what you can do is build the org chart out in a way that, okay, to do 6 deals a year, I'm going to need these 2 renovators and this person in the as an assistant for the property management. We're going to do 10 deals a year. We're going to start building out the requirement for your org chart. So you could build this out and say, okay, right here, say, okay, we're 6 deals a year, 10 deals a year, we need 6 renovators. 15 deals a year, we need 9 renovators. And then to do 20 deals a year, we need 12 renovators, right? And then so you've got it mapped out. So as you're scaling your business, you know that you're gonna have to, okay, you know what, we're starting to pick up the volume here. We need to fill this position right here. The same goes for property management. So this is a renovation team downpipe right here. This is our property management company, right? So we've got a property management team lead and then 3 people that work under her doing varying tasks. And then now we also have a finance department. So obviously we grew in such a way that we needed these people, right? So because Christy was doing it all herself at the start, eventually we started delegating some of those tasks to the person actually doing property management. So we'd have one person helping with books, tracking expenses and that type of thing, as well as they would start with property management, certain tasks. But as you grew, we actually created 2 departments. We created a property management department as well as a finance department. You can see here, there actually is question marks down here because at one point when I created this org chart, these positions were not filled. Okay, so I think it's just a really good exercise to create the vision, knowing that you need all these people at some point. It just may not be now, but as you grow and as you hit your goals and your milestones, you're going to need to start filling those spots up. So that way, the business works harder for you than you do for it. The next thing I want to talk to you about is about the processes, the checklists, the forms, all of the things internally that operate this business. Okay, and these are all the things that the team in the org chart are going to do and they're going to utilize. So the thing about a system or a process, it takes what's in your head as a solopreneur, right, and puts it out on paper. So that way people can utilize it and leverage it. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the org chart here and I'm going to show you, these are all the processes, okay, in this box here, in this box here, and in this box here, as well as actually right up here in the CEO level, and that our business has implemented into it in each one of these individual sectors. So for property management, for renovations, and for finance, okay? So when we're looking at the renovation side, we have material order forms, email signatures for ordering, we have receipt tracking sheets, we have end of renovation checklists. I can go on job boards that help organize the job sites. When we look at a property management company, here's another long list of different processes that we have implemented into the business. So property information summaries, tenant fulfillment checklists, tenant vacating and ad processes, tenant move-in handbooks, etc. And then once more, here's a long list of processes that we have implemented into the finance department. So, new property checklist, renovation logs, we do have paper filing systems as well as online filing systems, obviously payroll, repair logs, quarterly reporting to joint venture partners, cash flow disbursements, etc. But again, notice there's a lot of them, right? It takes a lot of things in a business for it to operate smoothly, efficiently, and accurately, okay? So at the very top, me as the CEO, my focus is to acquire property, right? Analyze deals, and then get the money to do the deals. So what we did very heavily through our growth in Canada was we utilized joint ventures. Okay, so that is like another entire thing on its own where you're basically raising capital, you're doing joint ventures with a money partner and you're the working partner, right? And with that, you need to educate them, right? You need to be able to present deals to them. You need to onboard them, right? You need to do joint venture agreements. There's a lot of other things. So those are my major roles. And I had systems and processes for that to make it easier and to make it really efficient. So for example, if you reached out to Brady, to me and said, hey, I'm interested in learning about your joint ventures. So what I do is I've got a process right in my email. It's an email signature and I would literally get their email. I would put their email at the top and I'd push joint venture presentation. It would automatically send them a pre-recorded presentation, right? Which is going to educate them all about investing in real estate by utilizing joint venture partners and what is it all about. From there, there's going to be a call to action. The call to action goes right back to me and they want to do the next step. Creating a system, it takes upfront work, but once it's done and all you need to do is select an email signature, put their email and push send, you've just saved yourself probably 30 minutes to an hour of telling the same story to different people, right? Again, just an example of a process that I utilize every single day. Now that we've seen that, what I want to do with you next is actually dive into and show you exactly what these processes look like. When we are starting out our business, a lot of these systems, processes, checklists, forms, documents, etc., came out of a necessity. Okay, a necessity to solve a problem, right? So it was like we were always having this mistake, and our renovators were always missing all of these different things. When they said the renovation was done, there was still like a laundry list of things to be done. How do we fix that? Well, we do a post-renovation checklist. So it forces them to go through the checklist and utilize, and that solves that problem, right? So that's an example as to why we implemented all these systems. So we created, we built this company, we were just doing what we thought everybody had systems, processes, etc. in their business. But the reality is that's not true. So we started talking about this at different webinars and on stages and giving presentations on the systems and stuff that's required to scale a real estate investing business. And what we realized is that nobody else had it, and they were like, hey, can we buy it? Can we do this? So what we did was we packaged it up in a online training platform, and we called it the Freedom Multiplier System for Lifestyle Real Estate Investors. Again, that's the reason why is because, when we did this, we were on our boat cruising the Bahamas and the Florida Keys for 2018 and 19 and still doing tons of deals, right? We wouldn't have been able to do that if we didn't have this. So, with these systems, you're able to actually create the lifestyle and live the lifestyle that you want. This is the fruit of all your labor in your business. So as we look through this, so there's 5 sections in this, right? We've got all the section 1 is setting up for success. So all the systems, processes for purchasing and setting up your accounts right from day one. Second section is about renovation, rent, repeat, a guide to renovating with systems. So it's all of the systems that our renovation crews utilize. Next is all about property management. AAA Tenants Made Easy, right? The next section is controlling your financials and tracking and reporting. And finally, last but not least, is maintaining your assets. For example, a receipt tracking sheet. Okay, so on the online training platform, on our Freedom Multiplier Systems for Lifestyle Real Estate Investors, they have access to all of the systems that we utilize. So when I go on here, obviously we teach them how to use this, but I'll give you an example as to how you could use it as well. So I literally download it. This is the receipt tracking sheet. So literally what we do is we get them to print this tracking sheet on a brown envelope. And all of our staff have corporate credit cards. So every single week, what they'll do is they'll be paying for things at different stores, different contractors. They'll grab the original receipt. They'll take the receipt, and on the actual form that's printed out on the brown envelope, they'll put the date, the property in which the expense was for, the location from where the purchase was made, the amount of the purchase, and whether they use their company card or their personal card. Obviously, if they use their personal card, we'll be reimbursing them. There may be 20, 30 different receipts inside this brown envelope, and obviously with this form filled out, and they'll bring in this envelope into the office once a week, which then they pass over to our admin staff or our finance department, and the finance department will then allocate all the funds accordingly to each individual property, track it, and then record it. Okay, so again, this is just one example. I'll give you one other one. Let's go into renovation, rent, repeat. Okay, so renovations is dealing with contractors and dealing with your renovation crews and all the little steps that go into being able to efficiently, running renovation crews and renovation staff. And there's a million different things that need to happen to make sure that it's completed efficiently and profitably. Okay, it's very easy to overspend on a renovation expense, especially, for example, if you don't know how much the renovation is at now. So these are our systems where literally we teach people to walk through how to select suppliers and how to select materials. So what we like to do is standardize all the fit and finish. And how do you do that is literally go through Home Depot. I literally walk through Home Depot. I've got a video right here and it shows you at Home Depot. It'll actually teach you how to select all the materials as well as creating the material order form, right? So instead of doing a takeoff, walking through your property and measuring it all out, and then having to go to the store physically yourself and picking things off the shelf yourself. What we do is we have a project manager. He takes his list, he'll do all the takeoffs on his list, he'll then pop back to his computer, and because we've already went through and created this Home Depot part order form, he'll actually go to the material order form, which is this one right here. He'll pull it up on his computer. This is what it's gonna look like. So he'll literally put in his phone number, the address in which this is gonna be delivered. He'll have a list of all of the materials, a list of all the description of the materials and the part numbers and the quantity. He's gonna then take this, he'll fill out this form. It's already gonna be pre-filled out. I'll show you in 2 seconds. And he's gonna email it to Home Depot. Home Depot is gonna then hopefully pick it and deliver it the next day. So instead of doing your takeoff and walking to Home Depot and doing it all yourself, you can, just by implementing a quick little system, a process that you can, one, save hours and hours of time, whether it's yours or your property or project managers, but also you're standardizing the fit and finish. So your contractors or your staff know exactly what materials to put in the bathroom, the tile, the flooring, what type, what trim, what door profile, etc. Again, another system to be utilized to make life a lot easier and being able so that you can actually work remote. I'll go through one other one, controlling your financials. There's lots of different things that are required to make sure that you're tracking your income and your expenses properly. For example, uploading bank statements. So obviously if we have 20 staff and they all have their own credit cards, we need to make sure that every single expense on that credit card is being allocated to some property. Okay, so what they call that coding, right? So for example, we've got this uploading bank statements checklist. So right in there, we'll make sure that all of the credit card statements are uploaded and that they've all been coded. Because if you miss one, you could be missing $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 of expenses that are gonna be coming out of my operating account and not be allocated to a property properly. That is a sneak peek into some processes that you should be implementing into your business that allow you to scale it, allow your business to work harder for you than you do for it. And these systems and processes will give your staff tools to utilize, right? So there you go. We went over a bunch of examples into the types of processes, checklists, etc. that you need or could implement into your business. If you do that, I guarantee you it's going to allow you to scale your business faster as well as work anywhere in the world you want. We also went over how to build an org chart, and whether you're in the position now to fill all those positions, it is still a really good exercise to do, because as you scale and as your volume go up, you have a very clear idea, or at least half an idea or a plan as to which positions you need to fill in at one point. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video and it helps you get closer to your goals. I hope it allows you to scale your business and be able to live wherever you want in the world remote, just like we've been able to. Make sure that you subscribe, share, and like this YouTube video, and I look forward to bringing you some more value.